Today we're going to talk about 4 questions people ask about drug testing that most employers or supervisors aren't prepared to answer. Hi, my name is Mike and I'm with Health Research Systems. We've been in the drug testing industry for over 28 years and we're doing these short videos so employers can utilize them in a daily safety meeting or settings where time is crucial in order to still get the information out there about the company's drug-free workplace policy. This is video number 3 in our employee-employer training series, and today we're going to talk about what's the right answer when people ask what kind of or what type of drug test is this. It really can mean a number of different things. Number 1, what type or kind of drugs are you testing for? Number 2, what type or kind of biological specimen are you testing? Number 3, what reason or kind of test are you performing? And number 4, what type or kind or method of drug test are you using? Let's look into each of these and shed a little light on the correct answer to each question. What type of drugs are you testing for? This is referred to in the industry as a drug panel. It can be any number of drugs from 4 to 12. And each test is very specific to the drugs that are listed and doesn't test for anything outside of those listed. What I mean by this is that a 5-panel test will not show drug use of any substance outside of the 5 drugs listed. And the same applies to each of the other panels, 4, 6, 9, 10, and so on. So what are the typical substances in these drug panels? In some cases, the influence of a corporate culture or geographic location can come into play with regard to what drugs are screened for in each of these panels on a drug test. Generally, the biggest difference between the 4 and 5-panel drug test tends to be the elimination of marijuana as a tested substance, as marijuana legislation and certain culture changes have caused some employers to decide to customize their panel accordingly. Other variations of the 4-panel drug screens may instead look for marijuana, cocaine, opiates, and methamphetamine, leaving out the PCP, as PCP doesn't at this time have a very high abuse rate. A 7-panel drug test is often administered by companies or individuals who are concerned an employee might be abusing prescription drugs. In industries where alertness is required or heavy machinery is operated, some companies use the 7-panel drug test to gauge the presence of prescription drugs with potentially fatiguing side effects. Drugs that, although legal, may impair a machine operator's ability to do their job, particularly if abused. A standard 7-panel drug test typically adds benzodiazepines and barbiturates to the 5-panel. A 10-panel drug screen is often administered to test employees of law enforcement and occupational medicine, as well as to examine if a person on legal probation is violating the terms of that probation. Further, many civil servants are required to pass a 10-panel drug screen, particularly if their job entails dangerous work or work where the employee is responsible for the safety of others. A standard 10-panel drug test typically will add methadone, propoxyphene, and quaaludes. A 12-panel drug test is often administered as an extension to the 10-panel and looks for either the presence of expanded opiates and prescription painkillers or can look for traces of other controlled substances. A standard 12-panel drug test typically adds ecstasy, MDMA, and oxycodone. The next question is what type of biological specimen are you testing? A drug test, sometimes also referred to as a drug screen, is any test administered for the analysis of a biological specimen of the human body, such as blood, urine, saliva, hair, sweat, in order to detect the presence or non-presence of the drug or the metabolite. A metabolite is basically the inactive metabolized form of a parent drug. The most common type of drug test is the urine test or urinalysis. Of the 55 million drug tests which were administered in 2018, 90% of them were urine analysis. A urine analysis is much cheaper than the other tests and tends to have a longer detection time compared to tests conducted with blood or saliva. So, next question, what reasons are you performing the test? Well, there's a variety of circumstances under which an organization may require a drug test. Following are the most common or widespread. Pre-employment. Pre-employment testing is conducted to prevent hiring individuals who illegally use drugs. It typically takes place after a conditional offer of employment has been made. Reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion testing is similar to and sometimes referred to as probable cause or for-cause testing and is conducted when supervisors document observable signs and symptoms that lead them to suspect drug use or a drug-free workplace policy violation. Post-accident. Since property damage or personal injury may result from accidents, testing following an accident can help determine whether drugs and/or alcohol were a factor. Random. Random testing is performed on an unannounced, unpredictable basis on employees whose identifying information, like a social security number or an employee ID number, has been placed in a testing pool from which a scientifically arbitrary selection is made. This selection is usually computer generated to ensure that it is indeed random and that each person of the workforce population has an equal chance of being selected every time. Because this type of testing has no advance notice, it really does serve as a great deterrent. Return to duty. Return to duty testing involves a one-time announced test when an employee who has tested positive has completed the required treatment for substance abuse and is ready to return to the workplace. Follow-up. Follow-up testing is conducted periodically after an employee returns to the workplace upon completing the rehabilitation for a drug or alcohol problem. It is administered on an unannounced, unpredictable basis for a period of anything from 6 months to 5 years, which is specified in the drug-free workplace policy and usually decided upon by a substance abuse professional. Next question, what type or method of drug test are you using? Is it lab-based? Is it an instant device? Is it professionally collected and administered? Or some employers are using tests designed for at-home use. Lab-based professional tests are your best, most accurate test, but there is a place for other methods which can be more affordable or give a result in just a few minutes. So that's our training for today, and we look forward to working with you to have a safer, more productive workplace. This is Mike with Health Research Systems, and we offer drug testing programs and background checks to companies of all sizes. If you have any questions, you can email us at info@healthresearchsystems.com. That's info@healthresearchsystems.com. Hit the like and subscribe button so you'll know when we release the next video in this training series, and thanks for watching.